Hi guys, welcome back to ModCons. Guess what? I'm out and about. We are so busy that we had to do this one by Zoom,
We did.
but it's okay. You'll still get all the gossip, all the news, everything political that's going on right now. And by Jove, it's a lot, isn't it?
It is. It is. You're al fresco today. We love it.
I am. I am. I thought I'd, take advantage of this wonderful sunny weather we're having,
Heat wave
and
that we're having.
yeah, yeah,
Today is polling day, guys. So I'm off to go and help in the local elections.
it
So I'll
is.
be al fresco as well. I'll be al fresco
Yeah.
joining me.
You'll
Um,
be very active, I think, today. You're going to be running around trying to get those last minute
those
votes.
votes, get out the vote. That's it. Well, I'm going to have Martin with me, and it's so hot. I've just realised I
Yeah.
probably shouldn't bring him. So that's awkward.
Oh,
I'm going to be, yeah, I know. I'm going to be in Bucks. So that will be interesting. I think hopefully we'll keep that. But
yeah.
there are a few others that, Kemi's already said that we're going to lose because
That's
we're,
so defeatist.
I think she's kind of doing like managing expectations, so to speak.
Yeah.
But we're hopefully going to win a mayor. So Paul Bristow, he's our
Yeah.
candidate for Cambridge and Peterborough. And I think he used to be the MP for Peterborough. So he's
Okay.
going to be our candidate for that, and apparently he's going to win. So that's something.
That is something. We've got there's 24 elections and it's like six mayoral right now. There was meant to be more, but I don't know for what reason. Um, the government were a bit concerned that they were going to get absolutely
Interesting,
obliterated.
interesting theory you've got there. I think that might be right, actually. So yeah, they've postponed a lot of the elections because of their English devolution bill that's coming through. So obviously, it would just be such a waste of everyone's time to go to the polling station today and vote
Exactly.
them out. So they're
It's
going to
true.
delay that till next year.
There's also a by-election, right? In where is it?
Yes.
Cheshire? Cheshire?
Runcorn and Helsby. The guy that punched one of his constituents.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. I still, I wonder what, what the locals think about that.
Yeah. Well, he punched one of them, so probably not very pleased.
Not the best, not their best friend. But yeah, so now they'll probably get someone that's super friendly and not violent,
Yeah, not
perhaps. Hope
non-violent is a good start, I think. I think.
that
But I
should
think
like
Reform have a good candidate for that. Well, she used to be a conservative, a
yes.
magistrate. It's looking like they might not win it, which is quite surprising for me. I thought they were going to win that one.
Yes, because they're doing really well. That we assume they're the ones to watch, right? However,
Yeah.
I don't know. There's it's kind of a love and hate relationship with reform. I think for a lot of people out there,
Yeah.
some of them, want the fact that they're kind of saying the things that they want to hear, and some people are like, no, no. I've heard rumors that some people would be inclined to vote against, as in even possibly lend their vote to Liberal Democrats or Labour, which is bizarre to me. But
That's interesting.
I don't know why they wouldn't just, go conservative. If they're kind of not happy with what's going on right now, they should
Yeah.
go conservative. But let's see, it's all to play for. Who knows? And
Yeah.
this is exactly the time where you kind of gauge what the public are thinking about the actual government, because it's very often a protest vote, isn't it, at this
Mm-hmm.
time?
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, I think
So
they're
yeah.
definitely going to be that. I don't think Labour are going to do very well at all. They might win a mayoralty, but that's about it. Um, but luckily for them, they've kind of stacked the odds in their favour where they're not going to be the news story. We will be the news story.
Yes.
Which does get a bit frustrating, to be honest, because we're out of
Yeah.
government. We've been given the boot, we got the memo, but people
Yeah.
still like to bang on about the fact that 14 years, we're trying to
Yeah.
get the Tories. I'm like, we've gone. Like,
I
what is
know. I know.
to
I
say?
know. I know. Move on. Move
Move
on.
on.
It's the present and future we're looking towards now.
There
Come
we
on.
go. That's it. That's it. So yeah, so with the mayoralties, I think it'll be interesting. I wrote a piece today in City AM about um
Amazing.
the
Love the
mayoralty.
plug.
Oh yeah, exactly. Got to always plug
50 a.m.
about the mayors. They should have some more powers because there's no point giving us all these mayors who are going to have powers over like transport and housing, but not going to have any
Yes.
powers over business. So I'm calling for taxation powers so that
Ooh.
we can move to Hull where there'll be 0%
Yeah.
corporation tax and set up a new life together there.
Oh my goodness. It sounds like a dream.
Sold. Hull it is. I've actually never been to Hull.
Neither have I. But yeah, but no, I get your point. That's quite interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. But yeah, I do feel like yeah, if they're going to do it, then they really do need to give them the powers that be, really,
Yeah.
because yeah, yeah,
They're getting rid of
yeah,
like parish councils, district councils, where okay, there's lots of different layers of government, and maybe you could say,
yeah,
okay, we don't really need that. But
yeah.
also, the people in those communities at a parish level are very, very connected to the people that
Well,
they
yes,
represent, and you kind of lose
yeah,
that like human touch in a way.
yeah,
So if you're going to do it, you may as well do it properly, um,
yeah,
and try and make an opportunity there. But I don't know. We'll
yeah,
see. We'll
yeah.
see.
We shall indeed. We shall.
So what else
What
is
else
going
has
on in the
been?
world?
Well, I mean, Canada has a new prime
They
minister,
do. Our old Bank of
Mark
England
Carney.
governor,
Yes, Mark Carney, no
Mark Carney.
less.
Indeed.
Obviously, the Liberal Party won, and yeah, I mean, he's already coming out guns blazing against, the threat of Trump making it the 51st state. He's like, we will not. We're gonna closen our ties with Europe or China even or whatever, just so we're
Yeah.
not,
Some
you
good
know.
scaremongering's been going on there. And I
Yes.
think Keir Starmer's very happy. He's like, oh, our new best friend. They've always been our closest allies. We're like,
Yeah.
everyone seems to be your closest ally these days.
Yeah. Honestly, I know I can't even deal. But yeah, I mean, obviously, Trump has sort of threatened them with higher tariffs, and I
Yeah.
get why they might um kind of want to seek refuge
Yeah.
elsewhere
Yeah.
rather than just in America. But it is local, and I do think they are gonna do a deal. That's what he's about, isn't it? Just doing these deals. So I
It's all
think
about
as
the
long as
deal. But they
and
do.
Mark Carney,
I think the
go
problem
on.
is that they do have a deal. And I think they signed it
Yes.
last time. And
Oh God.
he's going to renege on that deal. He's like, actually,
Yeah.
scrap that.
Yeah. I
You know,
want
forget it.
something else.
I
That's the
want more.
problem.
Yeah, that is
Yeah,
the problem. That is the problem.
that is the
But I do
problem.
feel bad
But
for Pierre Poilievre,
yes.
who was
Yeah.
he was looking like he was like so far ahead Trudeau. As soon as Trudeau quit and Trump came in, he just kind of crashed and burned. But he's also lost
Yeah.
his seat as well, so he's not even going to be, a member of parliament or anything. It's quite sad.
Yeah. It is sad, but I guess that's the brutal facts of the game, right? If you're in politics, you're
Yeah,
in and you're out, and then you're in again, and then you're out again. So, but yeah, it's all go. Like, there's so many things happening. I don't even know what's going on. Staying on Trump, just
yes,
because.
yeah.
Well, before we go to the 100 days, because he has peaked peaked at his 100 days, and he's been doing
Got
like
it.
a lot of things. Like,
Yeah,
oh my goodness. So he's done like I got the figures of what he's done, like
let's do it. Let's do
140.
it.
Okay, 143 executive orders. That's the most any president has done within the first 100 days. 42 proclamations, 42 memorandums, and then there's like so many other things as well. Like, it's crazy. He has been busy, but we've seen that every day, like when he does his news, little news bulletin for us,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he's like signing his paper, or he brings in like a celebrity or something involved in whatever he's signing that day.
yeah.
So yeah, he's definitely been very proactive,
He
and
has.
he does bang out about how he's sort of stopped the borders, so the numbers have gone down,
Mm,
way down.
yeah,
And so he, whether you love him or hate him, he's definitely making moves. He's
yes.
definitely a mover and a shaker, and he's definitely doing stuff. So
Yeah,
so I
that's
don't know. Yeah.
he's done the thing
What's-
with Trump is he's done exactly what he says he's going to do. So, like you say, whether you love him or you hate him, he's delivered
Yeah.
on exactly what he said he was going to do. I
Yeah.
think the tariff stuff was a bit of a mess because he
Yeah.
started off so hard, and I feel like he should have just continued instead
Yeah.
of then kind of backing away and then not backing away
Yeah.
and semi backing away. It was just all a bit too chaotic. Um,
Yeah.
but I think apart from that, he's been pretty. I wouldn't say faultless. That's a bit over the top, but he's
Yeah.
he's delivered on his promises, and I think that's all that people wanted him to
Yeah.
do, right? So yeah,
Although in pollings at the moment, he is kind of quite he's kind of losing his spark, so to
yeah,
speak. So I don't know why that is. Is it because of the tariffs, perhaps,
yeah.
or is it other things that he's doing that just kind of don't sit that well with people. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm still a bit undecided on that.
I think it's a tariff thing. I think people just find it a bit unsettling. The markets are unsettled, so then
Yeah,
they're worrying how it's going to impact their lives. Are they going to be able to import the things they want? Are food prices going to rise? Like that kind of uncertainty does breed
yeah,
anxiety. So even your
yeah,
staunchest supporters going to start to wonder if
yeah,
it's going to plan. And some
yeah,
of the way that he has gone about it doesn't seem like it is part of the plan. But I do feel
yeah,
like he's recovered quite well in the last few days, obviously, like with the minerals still today,
yeah,
Zelensky. So things do seem to be
yes,
moving in the right direction. Um,
yeah,
and like he said, like even though the tariffs have been a bit chaotic, he is making a lot of money off them.
yeah.
So we are going to see that income is going to increase quite dramatically.
Yeah, I think yeah, it will. It will. Everything sort of bounces back
Yeah.
naturally anyway. So unless something terrible happens, hopefully not. Touch wood. But
I don't have any
also,
words.
yeah. But also, yeah, talking. You mentioned Zelensky.
Yeah.
Now, the Pope passed away on Easter
Yes,
Monday,
he did. Very
and
sad.
his and but by the grace of God, his work still continued.
Yeah.
He was the one because of that monumental, passing. He basically brought Trump and Zelensky together. It's quite an iconic photo when you see
Yes.
like the image of them. Talking just the simple chairs in this massive room. Then
Yeah.
literally some of the Vatican people just sort of pushing them together. Go on, sort this out.
Come on,
What are
boys,
you
sort it
doing?
out.
And it really worked. And
It
now,
did.
as you said, they've signed a deal. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I'm I don't know. I want to see more detail in the deal, just so
Yeah.
because I do feel like I feel a little bit sorry for Zelensky. Just so, obviously he's kind of pushed into a corner. He doesn't really have many options, obviously, and you need to have America on your side in a war against Russia. You just do,
Mm.
and I do think he will feel that he's had no choice but to give up certain things, and that's a bit sad. But
Yeah.
it's better that than nothing, and then you're going to be in war for another, I don't know, 5, 6 never-ending years because
Yeah.
there was no end in sight recently. So yeah.
No, no, that's true.
What about Blair and Miliband?
Oh
We were
yes. So, oh gosh, okay, I love a bit of
oh
Tony. So Tony Blair,
so
the PM
yes.
who will never leave us. He just won't. He's like Liz Truss. He just won't go. Just please leave. Your time is up. Thank you very much. Go and be a speaker
I think
somewhere.
isn't he like, pulling the strings? Isn't he like Starmer's,
The puppet master.
puppeteer or what's
Yeah,
going
yeah.
on?
I think he might
Puppet
be.
master.
I think
Mhm.
he's fighting for that role with Morgan McSweeney. But so yeah, so Blair's come out doing another speech or talk or interview or whatever he was doing. He's always talking, and he's saying he's now agreeing with Kemi Badenoch and saying net zero isn't going to happen in this time. It's also catastrophic in the sense that it's costing everyone and costing the average person, us,
Yeah,
a fortune, and it's not going to be achievable when China are having the same emissions in one day that we do in
yeah,
like a quarter or a year.
yeah,
So yeah.
yeah,
So yeah, he's kind of joined the consensus on that, which isn't
yeah.
very good for Ed Miliband, because
Poor Eddie.
already. And recently, I think it was yesterday, somebody interviewed and said, asked Downing Street if Ed Miliband will make it to the 5 year end of this term, and they wouldn't confirm.
Yes.
And they've confirmed with
No,
Rachel
they wouldn't.
Reeves, they've confirmed with a lot of other people, but wouldn't
Yeah.
confirm for old
He's
Eddie.
apparently he's losing favor with everybody, even the unions, even Norway, who he was planning on doing business with by capturing carbon capture
Yeah,
from Norway. They are like,
they're over it.
no, no to
No
Miliband, no
thanks.
to Miliband. So yeah,
Sorry, Ed.
I mean it is difficult. Like this net zero thing is quite just the just its name makes it really just quite crazy because as humans we just do create, bad things in the
Yeah.
atmosphere.
Yeah.
And so like can we ever actually be carbon net zero? Can we actually for real? I don't know. It would be nice though, but I do think like he's definitely on the losing side. And
Yeah.
Blair actually wrote that the strategy based on phasing out fossil fuels in the short term was doomed to fail.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ouch.
It's a shame
So I
because
mean,
look, I always say I'm green and I am green. I think
yeah,
there is a big distinction between being like to being environmentally friendly, to caring about our planet, to caring about our
yeah,
country and our countryside,
yes,
um,
yeah,
and also following the net zero kind of guidelines. And I think it's a really nice idea, and I wish it was achievable. But from the general consensus now, and I think Ed Miliband is going to have to at some point accept this, or the Labour Party, or at some
yeah,
point have to accept that it's not looking like it's going to happen, and it's not looking like it's worth, bankrupting ourselves for when nobody else is
yeah.
kind of wanting to join in.
Exactly, it's true, and it just sort of annoys people. I think because most people are doing, if they want to do stuff, they are doing it. Individually
Mm.
as well as nationally, we are doing things.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's just, I don't know.
yeah,
Poor guy. Let's watch this space. How long?
yeah.
We should do a countdown. Like
He could be
with the
Liz with
lettuce.
lettuce. Yeah. The thing about the whole green,
Uh,
like, I think one of the things that we do need to do is have more encourage people to be more green just in their daily lives and try and change
yes,
the culture around it. I don't think you need to be like
I
so
agree.
stick about it, but also like recycling.
Yes,
Like I think only 15% of what we recycle gets recycled, and things like that are really
which is
silly. And
ridiculous.
it also
Yeah,
puts people off actually wanting to bother because they're like, well, it's not going to get recycled anyway. So trying to like do those
exactly.
things, I think is probably a better way forward. Than just telling
Yeah,
people
I
to
agree.
buy cars that they can't quite afford yet that will come from China.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
exactly. Exactly. It's so true. It's so true. But yeah, okay. What about PMQs?
oh,
Obviously, we've got Kemi gunning for
she was
Kia,
great. She was great.
and
She was really going for it.
yeah, last week I was super impressed. How I've been saying, I just want that oomph.
Yeah.
Well, I think I saw it
Yeah, I think you
last
got your
week at
rooms
PMQs.
last
I was
week.
like, yes, yeah. I was like, come on, Kemi.
It was great. It was
So
great.
that was really good. And yeah, and then she's on form and she's hitting subject matters that really are punchy right now. I
Yeah.
can't remember what last week's was, and
Last week
I
was all about
forget what.
woman's a woman. This week is all
Yes,
about
yes.
grooming gangs.
Yes, exact. That's it. Yes, I was getting muddling them up. But yeah, absolutely strong topics
Yeah.
that people are really passionate about. We want, the best for our citizens. We want them to
Yeah.
be safe and things to be, um, uh, investigated and people pay for their crimes.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. We have a
Yeah.
whole justice system. We have a whole process for this, and it's just not being met. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm glad that she is pulling out the guns. That's
Yes,
what we wanted.
absolutely. No, she's doing a good job. And I think it's really good that obviously she's asking for a national inquiry and he keeps going,
Yeah,
oh, we've got locals. And she was like,
yeah,
name any other ones apart from the
yeah,
one you've said. And he couldn't, he didn't. And I
yeah,
think she's like doing a really good job of pointing out the fact that he just ignores the question and
yeah,
just tries to bang on about 14 years or when he was
yeah,
director of public
yeah,
prosecutions. It's like, that's so irrelevant. That was also 10 years ago. How is that
yeah.
relevant to today? One prosecution 10 years ago, how is that
Yeah,
relevant to
it's
today
it's
and the
not.
victims
It's
who are
not.
being who are asking for it? That's the thing. And he keeps saying,
Yes.
oh, I've
Yeah.
spoken to victims and they don't want this. And Kemi's like, I've actually met with victims and they do want it. They're telling us today,
Exactly.
not whenever you were
Exactly.
last in charge. They're telling us
Yeah.
today. And I think he's
And
really on the losing side of this, and he's going to have to
yeah.
U-turn, because even
Yeah.
like they said, like Kemi said, Harriet Harman, Andy Burnham, like some big Labour bigwigs
Yeah.
are saying that this needs to be done. So he's going
Yeah.
to have to change course on
And
that.
I think, the fact that there have been sort of local investigations and stuff, people that maybe don't get, if you do a national inquiry, you don't, you get people that are not involved, that haven't been involved,
Yeah.
who are overseeing the whole procedure. So there can't be any room for error. And if someone in local government, whether they're, just trying to cover up something because maybe they missed something, they can't do that.
Yeah.
And that's the point of the national inquiry. Whereas if they just do the local inquiries, they're effectively marking their own sort of homework,
Yeah,
so to
that's it.
speak,
That's it.
which
And
is the point.
that's it. And also some of the local councils where they have the option to do local inquiries know that they're in the wrong, so they don't want to do the
Yeah,
local inquiries and they're not going to do
yeah,
them. So it's a completely crap argument because
yeah,
the
yeah,
ones that need it the most are just going to choose not to do it. It doesn't make any
yeah,
sense.
exactly. No
Ah,
sense at all.
get
So
Starmer.
yeah, yeah, it's so frustrating. But no, I'm so happy that she's actually, yes. So since last week, I'm like, yeah, God,
Good,
yeah,
good, good.
because I was waiting. She did do a couple, but previously, but I wanted it to be more consistent, and I think at the moment she's definitely on a roll. So that's good. I expect the hat trick next week.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what she picks up on for next week. But no, she definitely
Yeah,
is. She's definitely coming out all guns blazing, and it really does show him to be not very good. Because he's just kind of
yeah,
bumbling around,
deflective. Yeah,
deflecting, and it's just
yeah.
really really sad to watch because it's like you're actually the
It,
prime minister. You're actually the
yeah,
prime minister.
yeah. And if he says 14 years one more time, I literally want to
I
just,
know.
oof. It's like, stop now. You've been in long enough to be like, okay, cool. This was bad. This can be good, but you're not doing it. So therefore, shut up.
It's
Anyway,
true. And I think, look, we're coming to a year point very soon. And I think after a year, he's not really realistically going to be able to talk about the previous government anymore. We hope, we hope.
I mean, I think we're expecting a little much if you believe that.
So true,
Maybe
so
after
true.
14 years,
Maybe after 14
he
years.
might stop talking.
That's it.
But yeah, no, I was impressed with Kemi, so that's good.
Yeah,
Keeping him
Kemi's
on his
doing
toes.
well.
That's exactly what the opposition. Yeah, that's exactly what the opposition needs to do. So
And
yeah,
she's been
and
really
then yeah,
good as well. Like obviously we've got the local elections today. She's been out and about pretty much all day, every day for the
yeah,
last few weeks, doing
good.
interviews, campaigning, just like really
Yeah,
going hard. So I think yeah, this is definitely bringing
yeah,
out
you have to.
the best in her.
Good, good. I love that. So yeah, also, oh yeah, I mean, I guess we should stick with Starmer a little,
Yeah.
talking about all these millionaires and billionaires that are leaving the UK.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
I mean,
outrageous. Well, obviously we
they
know
have the money
why.
to, yes, we
That's
do.
it.
They
Like
have
you
the money
say.
to do so, and they're
Yeah.
speaking with their money. They're
They're
putting their
like,
money where their
bye.
mouth is.
See you. Well, it's true. Like we
But
know it's because of Rachel Reeves, capital gains tax, national insurance, VAT. The list is endless,
yeah,
non-dom status.
yes,
And they're going to places
yeah,
like Italy where they just pay 200K a year and they don't have to worry about it. They're not demonized. They can just live their lives and contribute to the economy. It's like
yeah,
what's not to
yeah.
love and eat pasta. It's great.
Exactly. I mean, delish. But but yeah, it's so crazy, and it's so short-sighted or small-minded. I'm not sure which. Because obviously most of them provide, like, jobs for people in the UK. They set businesses up here. They're entrepreneurs. They make money. They don't just sort of sit on a pile of money and do nothing with it. It's productive money that is, like, churned into our system,
Yeah,
which
that's it.
has a money making magnetic compound that we
Yeah.
could be utilizing as a nation. But they'd rather just, do the bare minimum and just let them leave. It's really
They
ridiculous.
they don't understand it. And I think there's also this thing that I don't know if it's like from their background in the sense that they're all like unions and student
Yeah,
politicians and stuff, but they're like,
yeah,
it's kind of if they don't want to pay tax, we don't want them anyway. And it's like they're not actually not
yeah,
paying tax, they're just not paying tax on earnings outside of the UK. And it's like, well, why should they? Their earnings outside of the UK.
exactly,
It's not that
exactly.
wild, and they're not really just like abusing the
Yeah,
system. The way it's kind of communicated is so it's so
Yeah.
incorrect because it makes
Like,
them into a villain when actually they're just moving
yeah.
here to actually just,
Yeah.
buy a house, spend money in cafes, spend
Yeah.
money in restaurants,
Yeah.
spend money in shops, hire
Yeah.
people, send their kids to our schools. Like I don't know
Yeah.
what the huge crime is there. But
Yeah.
yeah, I was
I,
looking at
I
some,
do think I do think it's an element of envy,
yeah.
so to speak, because they don't get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, go on. What were you gonna say?
Yeah. Well, I was looking at the statistic for and apparently since the Labour government have come in, we've lost a millionaire every 45 minutes.
That just made me feel a bit uncomfortable
It's
because we're
just
just
hearing it
left with
like
we
that.
need yeah, the point is we need people that are, as I said, entrepreneurs. We need people that are business minded, that can make money. We need successful people in our country for our country to thrive and
Mm.
for our economy to grow. So, like, why would you penalize the people that actually provide jobs and have a support network? Okay, I'm sure there's one or two that maybe just use it as, or were using it as,
Yeah.
somewhere to just, not to funnel money, whatever.
Yeah.
But there are plenty of other places they can do that if they wish to actually just do that. But I just think it's
Yeah.
a short-sighted thing. It's so annoying.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
no.
it's also not just like foreign investors and international residents that we're losing. We're
Yeah.
actually losing some of our best entrepreneurs like Stephen
Yes.
Bartlett, Grace Beverley. They're both millionaires, self-made UK citizens, like Brits,
Yes.
who have
Yeah.
left for LA because it's like
I
the
know.
taxes are too high, the opportunity isn't here. They're being
Yeah.
like suffocated with red tape. So we're losing
Yeah.
people who will also pass down like incredible knowledge to our young people who can
Yes.
inspire them and mentor them and give them opportunities, see themselves in them. And so it's just
100%.
it's so disappointing. And I
Yeah.
really worry where we're going to be in 4 years' time. And
Yeah.
I just can't I'm scared to imagine
Yeah.
like what things are going to
I
be,
know.
who's going to be here.
I agree. I agree because it's just not great. And yeah, it is that small amount group of people that really make such a massive impact in society. It's just
Yeah.
crazy. So
We'll see. But
we'll see. Um,
on a brighter
yeah,
note, what
go
can
on.
we end on? I'm trying to think of something positive.
So there are threatened to be strikes, but there aren't any just yet. But
Yes.
teachers and nurses are not happy with their pay, and I think they looked at the train strikers and thought, well, hello, hold my hat. I we're coming for you. And you know what? They are sort of our key workers. They should be getting like a good wage. However, I am not a fan of striking. Unless it's an absolute last resort, which
Yeah.
is it shouldn't be. But they should get fair pay because you know, they are apart from our millionaires and billionaires, they are also the ones that are, especially the teachers, sort of educating our young minds for the future
Yeah.
to maybe be those entrepreneurs that will then leave and do their business elsewhere because they're getting taxed too much.
Yeah. I think with the
But yeah,
strikes and stuff, so it's all about like the pay review that's come back and said, oh, it's
yeah,
4%, it should be around 4% increase. But Labour, because they're trying to be
yeah,
like the tough
yeah,
guys who are like, we're not going to increase any taxes or anything because we're
yeah.
smart and good with our money. They're saying now, oh, it's got to come out
Stabby.
of it was savvy. It's got to come out of existing budgets, which just
Yeah,
squeezes schools further. Like I'm a governor of two schools. The budgets are
yeah,
incredibly tight. And when they do things like this and put things into legislation or agree deals or demand things from budgets that already exist, it's
yes,
actually it makes the schools worse off. Like it actually puts much more pressure on them. So they've either got to
yeah,
increase the budgets or not give them the pay rise. You can't tell people to
yeah,
do more with so
yeah,
little.
exactly.
It's just not realistic.
It's not. So I guess we'll watch this space for that as well. But I guess on a happy note,
Yes.
it is sunny out there.
It's
We are,
gorgeous.
we're blessed with the gorgeous sunshine, as you said. So yeah, that's a good thing, I guess. And you're going to be out and about today doing
We're
your
knocking
thing.
on
Well, good
doors.
luck.
Thank you. I'm going to get my
Good luck.
rosette, my blue rosette, and go and tell everyone to vote Conservative because Conservative councils, as you will know, are run better than any other types of councils. Bin collections
Fact.
twice a week, not once a month.
Fact.
No, less potholes, cheaper council
Fact.
tax. What's not to
Fact.
love? Great people.
It's true. It's true. And beautiful streets. We don't leave rubbish tips for like a
No fly
month
tipping
or
here.
2 months. Exactly.
Okay.
We get rid of our graffiti and all sorts of things. Anyway, but yes, it's been an absolute joy.
It has.
Thank you all for tuning in as well to ModCons. Don't forget to tune in Mondays, middays. See you soon.
Bye, guys.